My husband had a relationship with a man and never told me. I don't know if I'm looking for advice or to just vent. My husband is 31 and I'm 29. We've been together almost 4 years, married 2 years. We didn't know each other prior to 4 years ago, aka we didn't grow up together, go to school together, or anything like that. We live in a somewhat large city. By coincidence, I now work with a woman who went to college with my husband. They were friends but didn't really keep in touch after they graduated. I worked with her for about 2 months before we realized that she used to know my husband. Now we've worked together for slightly less than a year. Last week we were talking about birthdays and Halloween plans and how as adults we rarely go out and do anything for these occasions. But when we were younger, we always had multiple parties to go. We were sharing some funny party stories, and she mentioned something about my husband. He was friends with all of the gay people, but had this other more conservative preppy group that he was part of, and none of them would hang out with the gay group. He's sort of just the type who is friends with everyone. She mentioned, he was one of the most sexually confused men I've ever met. I sort of always knew he'd ultimately end up with a woman, but our hearts were when we found out he was dating that guy. I just laughed along like I knew exactly what she was talking about. But in reality, I had absolutely no idea what she was talking about. Now, yes, I know he does have several gay friends now, but so what? He never mentioned dating men before, at all. First, I want to say that I feel bad that this even bothers me. It shouldn't bother me. Who cares if he's dated men, women, non-binary people? I was sort of surprised just how much I did suddenly care. But more than anything, I was mad that he didn't tell me. Why would he not ever mention anything about it? I don't know why he'd feel the need to hide it from me. I keep wanting to bring it up to him, but it just feels awkward. Obviously, he doesn't want me to know for some reason. I don't want to embarrass him or make him feel uncomfortable that my coworker shared this with me. I wonder if he's been nervous this whole time that she might reveal this. But I mean, why would this typically even come up? She and I don't even work in the same department, so we probably only talk a few times a week when working on collaborative projects. Relevant comments on the coworker who made the statement. She made this statement around other people, so now multiple people know. I'm not embarrassed by this, the clarify. If he didn't want me to know about it, he likely doesn't want the whole team of people I supervise to know about it, but now they do. I don't know her well. We don't associate outside of work. We don't even work in the same department, but due to the nature of our roles and the departments we're in, I probably work directly with her a few times a week. She knew him well enough to recognize a picture of him right away and remembered his name. I don't really even remember the names of everyone I hung out with in college and haven't kept in touch with, only people who I was actually friends with. I really don't think she was trying to gossip. If what she says is true, it doesn't seem like he was hiding who he was dating back then. I think she assumed it was something I was well aware of. The we she was referring to was a group of girls he went to college with. There was obviously more to the conversation she had with me. Update Oct 21, 2023, adding this info for clarity. We are married, not dating. He's my husband. We've been together for 4 years, married 2. He's 31, I'm 29. I decided to talk to my husband about what my coworker, his former college friend, mentioned to me about him being sexually confused and dating a guy in college. I really tried not to be accusatory because that's not the place I was coming from at all. I prefaced the whole conversation by telling him that he didn't have to talk about this or tell me anything if he didn't want to or wasn't ready for some reason, but that I was really caught off guard by some comments that my coworker made. The actual information she shared didn't upset me, but I was honest in that I was confused and worried about why he hadn't told me himself, and the way she said it was like everybody knew. So why hide this from me, if it did indeed happen? He just sort of sat there, staring off into space for a minute, and then said, "Yeah, it's true." I told him I understand that we're not obligated to tell each other every detail from our pasts. But for me personally, this is something that I feel like he should have been able to share with me, and I have the impression that he was intentionally keeping it from me. He admitted he was intentionally keeping it from me, but not to deceive me. He's lost girlfriends or potential girlfriends over it before, so just got into the habit of not mentioning it, and then once he felt comfortable mentioning it to me, he felt it was too far after the fact and would just be strange to bring it up at that point. Plus, he says he knows I like my men to be men, I like to be dominated, etc. And he felt that although he was pretty sure I'd be accepting, he didn't want to risk the small chance that he'd lose attraction in my eyes. I know this isn't about me, but I keep feeling it's about me. It's my fault that I left any amount of doubt in his mind that I would have accepted this, still loved him, and still been attracted to him. I feel bad, like a failure. When I asked him if it was just this one guy, more than one, is he bisexual? Now is the perfect time to tell me. He said he doesn't feel like telling me everything in graphic detail right now. He doesn't know what he considers himself. He guesses he's bisexual. He's not confused. He's attracted to men and women. He loves me. He only wants to be with me. He's not been cheating on me with men this whole time. Well, I never thought that's what was happening anyway. He dated 2 guys years ago. He had sex with them. He's also done other sexual things with different guys, but not since we've been together. He said he's only telling me that because I asked, and he won't lie about it. But he doesn't feel like going into detail right now. Maybe later, but don't ask him about it. He apologized for not telling me. He doesn't need to be sorry. I don't think he was trying to trick me. Again, I know it was never about me, really. So now I've made him feel bad. This isn't how he wanted me to find out about any of it, and he says regardless of what I say, he knows things will be awkward between us now. Maybe they will. I don't know. Definitely feels that way right now. We haven't even really been in the same room as each other since this conversation, only in passing and barely any words spoken. I feel like he doesn't want to be near me at all. I had to ask him. I just had to hear from him, but now I sort of feel like I should have just never brought it up. Relevant comments that girl 39. How did it go today? OP replied. Awkward this morning. I was trying to show affection, but he just seemed to want to keep distance, so I wasn't going to force it. If I were to force it, it'd seem fake and only serve to draw more attention to the issue, and he'd probably feel like it was some sort of pity affection. We had this birthday party for our dog. I mean, we were genuinely celebrating our dog's birthday, but it was really an excuse to have a little party because we just like to entertain. So afterwards, he joked, "You should have known. No completely straight man would have a birthday party for his dog." That girl 2239. Okay, I think the fact he made that joke is a good sign. That is funny though. Lowell ope on what kind of man her husband is, that would be difficult for me, since I still think he's the most attractive man, inside and out, that I've ever met. Not too long ago, he quit his job after this female coworker was sexually assaulted by the second highest male staff person. After the assault was reported, this female coworker was still made to work closely with the man who assaulted her, and even forced to go on a business trip with him with the threat of if she didn't go, she'd be fired. My husband was distraught over this and really put himself on the line to try to protect this woman and get the rapist punished, but the guy got away with it. Eventually, he decided he couldn't work with that man or at that company anymore, morally. So he quit. This is the type of person he is, and it's very difficult to find a man like this. One last comment from Ope. I'd rather find out he has been with men than find out he was secretly disciple of Andrew Tate. I mean, this is like winning the lottery compared to finding out something like that. Top comment. After the assault was reported, this female coworker was still made to work closely with the man who assaulted her and even forced to go on a business trip with him with the threat of, if she didn't go, she'd be fired. Second top comment. Aw, I am glad this turned out well and that he's joking about it already, lol. OP is right too. Finding out your husband is bisexual and not cheating is miles better than finding out he's a tater-tot bro.
Fiance is planning our honeymoon. While I read her messages to affair partner. Last week, I, 25M, found out that my fiance, 24F, cheated with her boss. I'm not sure his age, but he's in his mid-40s, I think. I also know he's married and has 3 kids. This happened last November on a work trip while out of town, and they hooked up 3 times. How do I know? Well, her boss's wife messaged me on Facebook and told me. She's also provided me with screenshots of texts and emails between them, graphic discussions about how they cheated on us, also how they got over on us and joked about it. But then, my fiancé will tell him in the same texts that she loves me, so this can never come out. The boss's wife, who seems very sweet when I met her at company functions before, is understandably enraged and heartbroken. She is having him served with divorce papers tomorrow. She's also going to drop a friendly email to their HR department. So I'm sitting here on my phone typing this while my fiancé is across from me on the sofa on her computer planning a honeymoon trip for a wedding she has no idea is never going to happen. She's completely oblivious to the fact that her life is going to fall apart tomorrow. I don't feel any sympathy at all since mine fell apart last week. And every time I read those texts and emails, I feel like someone is taking a knife in my heart. 3 years down the drain, though I'm just thankful I found out before we got married. I guess there's that to be thankful for. She has no idea, but I took a vacation day tomorrow, and after she leaves for work, I'm going to go around my place and collect up all her stuff, box it up and have it sitting by the door. Then I have to figure out if I can get any of the money I've already laid out for the wedding back. It was supposed to happen in October, but yeah, that's not happening. And when she comes home, I'm going to throw her out of my apartment and out of my life. I've debated posting all those screenshots on her Facebook page, but my sister talked me out of it. I also debated calling her parents. I feel bad for them as they are such great people and I'm going to miss her family. They've accepted me as one of their own and I don't know what they're going to say. But I've decided that she can explain herself to them. I don't want to hear her excuses or her lies at this point. I just want her out of my life so I can figure out what the heck I'm going to do with the rest of my life now. Top advice. I'm invested now. Let us know how tomorrow goes. I'm sorry this happened to you. Yes, we want to hear an update, but please tell the boss's wife not to call HR until after the divorce is final. If he loses his job, he could try to go after her for alimony, and she does not want that. It honestly said a quick text to her family, letting them know why you are calling off the engagement. This way, she can't turn it around on you and try to make you out to be the bad guy. Best of luck, OP. Keep us posted. OP needs to hear this advice. It is golden. If they reach out, tell the parents. If they ask for proof, deliver it. Mainly so she doesn't spin it into a whole web of lies of saying it was a misunderstanding. Yes, I'm petty, but if the truth doesn't come out, she might make you seem to be the a-hole ex-fiancé who broke up due to a misunderstanding. I'm thinking I'm going to have to show her parents what I have because when she shows up at their house and tells them I broke up with her, they're going to be shocked. I would call them after you get her to leave and let them know what happened. Did you have the proof if they are interested? By the time she gets to their house and calls them, they'll already know the story. I'll also be careful when having her leave your apartment. When people feel backed in a corner, they do some crazy things. If you can have someone there with you who can serve as a witness in the event things take a turn for the worst, ultimately protect your peace, King. Update 1 Wow. I cannot believe the response this post has gotten. I can safely say the bomb is dropped. Around 8 or so, my phone started going nuts. Calls from her with voicemails after each call. I knew right away what was going on, so I immediately called my sister to tell her that it was happening. She told me to stay strong, and if I wanted her to, she would come to my place and sit with me, so she's doing that. Then I had a very difficult phone conversation with my ex's mother. Jesus, I can't believe I have an ex now. Difficult because this woman has done nothing to deserve the pain I could hear in her voice. Her whole family has been nothing but accepting to me since day one. I calmly tried to explain the situation to her mother and told her that I can't find it in myself to forgive this and that I'm going to be asking her to move out. Although she was very upset, her mother seemed to understand why I feel this way. She offered as well to come to my place to help my ex gather things. I think this is a pretty good idea. Then I texted a few of my closest friends about the situation. I've been getting bombed with texts from them since, but have said as soon as I can, I will talk to them, but right now I am completely overwhelmed. I listened to one voicemail from my ex, and it was what I expected, crying and asking me to call her because we really need to talk. I called her back and she didn't answer, so I started to text. When she called me immediately, she's telling me how sorry she is. Why did I call her mum? Why did I involve other people, etc.? So I lost it. I asked how she thinks I feel having to go get tested for STDs because my fiancé cheated on me. Do you know how embarrassing that is? So at least she didn't deny what she did. I told her she needs to come this afternoon and get her stuff out of my place and that we are finished. She said we'll talk more later, but I cut her off and said, there's not a whole lot to talk about, is there? I also asked her how her and this guy could talk crap about me and his wife like they made fun of her for gaining weight after having 3 kids. This poor woman didn't deserve this. I didn't deserve this. I also said something to her about not trying to say she felt pressured because the guy's her boss. Her texts show clearly that she was a more than willing participant in all this. I guess she's got to meet with HR at work today and the whole place is gossiping about the two of them. I can't feel sorry for either of them at this point. I'm already emotionally drained and it's not even 10 a.m. here. So once she's done with her HR meeting, I guess she's going to come here and get her stuff. I'm hoping it goes without much drama. My sister should be here and I hope her mom comes with her. My landlord also says she'll be around and she's also going to have my locks changed hopefully either this afternoon or tomorrow. I know this is like a long babbling post, but I was trying to remember a lot of things I said and my mind is racing right now. Sorry this is happening to you, but you are dealing with this trauma like a boss. Long road ahead of you, but you have got this, dude. Go no contact and focus on you. Responses to update 1. Probably not the best idea to say he's dealing with it like a boss. As someone who went through breaking off an engagement like OP, it hurt at first, but in the long run it was worth it. Why did I involve other people? Not sure why, but it still stuns me that someone can cheat, utterly betraying their partner, and then essentially ask, why did you keep my complete betrayal of you a secret? You know, after we hung up, it dawned on me that she involved someone else in our relationship, not me. I wish I had thought of that while still speaking to her. I am so sorry you're experiencing this, but you hit the nail on the head. If she brings it up again, smack her with the fact. Best of luck to you always, man. I wish like hell you were my local friend. I'd come by for support and make sure cooler heads prevailed with all of this. You seem like you're staying strong through this and you've handled everything to perfection up to this point. Stay strong. Get your emotions out when she's gone. You will need to get your emotions out or else it'll drive you insane. Don't internalize them, feel them either alone or with those you feel comfortable with like your sister or friends. Just don't give X any satisfaction. She deserves none. Once they're out, work on being a better you, hit the gym, read up on something that'll advance your career or just make you a better person. Spend time with good friends. Whatever your thing is, do it. Pamper yourself in the coming days and weeks. You'll need it to start healing. All the best to you, bro. Update 2. Well, she's gone. She did show up with her mum and her best friend in tow, and my sister was there. No screaming, no yelling. She asked if I could just speak to her alone, and I told her that wouldn't be a good idea. Has she gotten everything she needed to say? She said it in her text messages with her boyfriend. Of course the tears started, and her mom said that they'd make this as quick as possible. So her and her friend went and got some of her stuff, enough for a day or two. While she was gone, her mom apologized to me and said she didn't raise her daughter this way, and she asked if the guy is really married, but I said, yeah, he's married. Her mom seems pretty shattered by this whole thing. She was going to say something and shot her a look, and she immediately shut her mouth. I wouldn't take any bets in Vegas that her friend didn't know what she did this whole time. She covered her hand like she wasn't going to give me the ring, and her mom said, "Give him the goddamn ring." So she handed her mum the ring, and her mum gave it to me and again told me how sorry she is. I just dropped it on my coffee table. I don't even want to look at it. I guess she's going to come back for the rest of the first half tomorrow with her dad. My sister said she'd like to pull the little girl's hair out of her head, her words not mine, but right now I'm so beaten down by all this, I just want to lay down and sleep. She has some nerve to try to keep the ring. That makes it real. She could pretend that it was just a bump in the road as long as she had the ring. Because if he really wanted to break up, he'd take it back, and he really wanted to break up, so he took it back. The amount of people that cheat and then are shocked their significant other breaks up with them is always surprising to me. Responses to update 2. My ex-wife got butthurt because I called her garbage after I found out she cheated on me. Some people don't have any shame, it seems. As someone who went through breaking off an engagement from a cheating partner just 2 weeks before the wedding, it hurt like hell at first, but in the long run, it was well worth it. Honestly, I would sleep with the boss's wife. My brother said the same thing. Do you know how things are going at the boss's house? No idea. I'm sure it's not fun there right now. I feel bad for the kids though. Update 3. Apparently, she still has her job from the restaurant and she's doing damage control from the social media posts. Update 4. She replied back to me, letting me know the developments from what I posted and learning from it, and that only a person like me would care to see that happen. The conversation turned into a really ugly name-calling match. The damage has already been done and being spiteful is done. I'm done talking with her. I'm going to desperately seek therapy and work on myself for the better. I didn't expect this to blow up, but I appreciate the advice all around. She never wanted me or deserved me at all. Final update. The guy she managed to cheat on me with is a single father co-parenting with another woman. I found out who the woman was and showed her all the screenshots. Unfortunately, she saw them texting each other well over a year ago, and that she told him to not text her anymore because she doesn't want him hanging out with anyone that doesn't like the mother of their son. My ex-girlfriend knew her and was extremely rude and snobbish with her. They are not together anymore, so she didn't know the exact length of their relationship. However, she knew they texted each other a lot. To no surprise, their relationship also ended because he was also cheating on her at the same restaurant with another woman that worked there while their son was extremely young. For all the talk about how my ex-girlfriend didn't want to be a single mother and how she despised her father for cheating on her mother while she was pregnant, she sure loved playing the role as the other woman.